Right now, you're sitting in a high-tech jurisdiction staring at a paycheck that has been mathematically decimated before it even hit your bank account. You are following the traditional financial script: go to the college, get a corporate job, save 10% of your income in a retirement account, and wait for 40 years to finally enjoy your life when your biological battery is almost empty. You're operating under a catastrophic multi-generational illusion. The traditional path to retirement is not a financial strategy. It is an engineered trap designed to keep you on a corporate treadmill to subsidize a bloated economy system. While you are praying for a 5% annual raise and complaining about inflation, a decentralized class of apex operators is quietly exiting the system. They are bypassing the 40-year grind entirely, compounding their wealth and securing absolute financial autonomy in their 20s. Before I break down the exact uncompromising architectural blueprint of digital nomadic arbitrage, showing you how to weaponize the geographic flexibility, exploit the delta between the decentralized earning and low-cost hubs, and use stablecoin stocking to fund a permanent retirement before you hit a 30? Hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global capital and labor market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Today, we are completely dismantling the geographical and financial borders that keep you trapped. We are going to architect your escape velocity. Grab a notebook. It is time to stop operating as a highly taxed biological asset and start operating like a sovereign financial node. The architecture of escape velocity. Welcome back. I'm Dr. HR. To understand why my approach to the wealth generation and the retirement is aggressively different from comforting, obsolete advice provided by the traditional financial advisors, you must understand my underlying architecture. I hold a PhD in human resources, a master's in human resource management, and a bachelor's in computer engineering. I do not look at your career as a lifelong journey of self-discovery. I look at your career as a brief, high-intensity extraction phase. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for apex corporate entities and observing the world's most elite wealth migrators, I have identified the precise algorithm they use to opt out of the system. It is called digital nomadic arbitrage, fueled by decentralized finance. Let us systematically deconstruct the 5 phases of this global execution: the fiat and the tax trap, the mechanics of geographic arbitrage, the legal fortress of tax neutrality, the stablecoin yield, and the apex execution protocol. Phase 1, the fiat and the tax trap. If you are attempting to build wealth in New York, London, Toronto, or Sydney, you're trying to fill a bucket that has massive, legally mandated holes drilled into the bottom. We must first diagnose the structural failure of your current environment. Imagine you are running on a treadmill that automatically increases its speed by 10% every single year. But your legs are heavily weighed down by an invisible mechanism that restricts your movement by 40%. No matter how hard you run, you will eventually collapse. This is the exact mathematics of living in a high-tax, high-inflation jurisdiction. You earn a salary and the government immediately extract 30% to 50% in income taxes. Then, you take what is left and attempt to purchase housing, food, and energy, all of which are being inflated by a fiat currency system that prints money to cover its own sovereign debt. You are being taxed on your income, taxed on your consumption, and silently taxed through inflation. The traditional financial advisor tells you to invest in an index fund and wait until you are 65. But if you calculate the actual purchasing power of your money after 4 decades of inflation and capital gain taxes, the math breaks down. You're not building wealth, you're simply treading water in a system designed to extract your labor until you are biologically obsolete. To achieve financial autonomy in your 20s, you cannot simply work harder. You must fundamentally alter the structural physics of your environment. You must completely disconnect your earning capacity from your geographic location. You cannot out-earn a system that was mathematically engineered to tax you into perpetual labor. Phase 2, the mechanics of geographic arbitrage. Once you realize that local game is rigged, you must step off the board and initiate the first step of your escape: geographic arbitrage. Think of geographic arbitrage as a high-frequency trading algorithm that exploits pricing inefficiency between two different markets. You buy an asset where it is incredibly cheap and you sell it where it is highly valued, pocketing the massive delta in between. In the 2026 labor market, you are an asset. If you are a software developer, a digital marketer, or a decentralized finance consultant, your output is entirely digital. It has no physical mass, therefore where your body physically sits while generating that output is irrelevant to the client paying for it. The strategy is brutal and simple. You secure your income in a strong, high-valued currency like US dollars or decentralized crypto assets, and you physically relocate your biological existence to a low-cost, high-quality living hub. If you are making $100,000 a year living in San Francisco, you are functionally impoverished. You are living with a roommate struggling to pay rent and saving nothing. But if you take that exact same $100,000 digital income and relocate to Bali, Chiang Mai, or certain sector of Eastern Europe and Latin America, you instantly become the financial elite of that localized economy. Your rent dropped by 80%, your food and lifestyle costs dropped by 70%, you have not increased your workload by a single hour. Yet you have artificially tripled your disposable income simply by changing your physical coordinate. You are weaponizing the purchasing power parity between nations. Phase 3, the legal fortress of tax neutrality. Geographic arbitrage solves the cost of the living equation, but it does not solve the extract equation. If you move to Bali but remain a tax resident of a high-tax Western nation, then they will still hunt you capital and extract 40%. You must establish a legal fortress. You must route your physical and digital existence into a tax-neutral haven. Imagine you built a massive, impenetrable digital vault to store your gold, but you left the master key taped in front of your front door. Anyone in the government can take it. You haven't secured anything. To truly protect your capital, you must legally sever the master key from the jurisdiction that you want to take it. The apex operator of 2026 do not just travel, they execute the strategic residency shift. They officially exit their home country, severing their primary residential tie, and establish legal tax residency in jurisdiction that offer 0% income tax on foreign-sourced income or 0% tax on crypto capital gains. This is why hubs like Dubai have become the epicenter of the new global elite. The UAE offers a complete tax-free personal income environment. Other operators utilize the digital nomad visas in jurisdiction with specific legally codified crypto tax exemptions. When you combine geographic arbitrage, low cost of living with tax neutrality, zero wealth extraction, the mathematical compounding of your wealth becomes violent. Instead of saving 10% of your income, you are now saving 70 to 80% of your income. You are retaining the entirety of your capital. Patriotism to high-tax jurisdiction does not pay dividend. Absolute capital retention does. Phase 4, the stablecoin yield engine. You have reduced your cost. You have eliminated your tax burden. You are now accumulating massive amount of capital. The final requirement for retiring in your 20s is replacing your active labor income with passive autonomous yield. This is where traditional finances fails the young operator. The real estate requires massive upfront capital and physical maintenance. Dividend stock yields a pathetic 2 to 3%. To retire fast, you need a high-velocity engine. You need decentralized finance, DEFI, and the stablecoin yield engine. Think of your wealth not as a pile of cash sitting in a vault, but as a fleet of autonomous digital workers. If your money is sitting in a traditional checking account, your workers are asleep, and inflation is slowly starving them to death. If your money is stocked in a decentralized protocol, your workers are operating 24/7, generating continuous capital without requiring your biological intervention. Apex operators do not keep their retirement funds in a volatile, speculative meme coins. They convert their retained capital into fully collateralized stablecoin, crypto assets pegged exactly to the US dollar. They then deploy these stable coins into liquidity pools, decentralized lending protocols, or a top-tier stocking platform. In the 2026 decentralized ecosystems, a strategically managed stablecoin portfolio can yield anywhere from 8% to 12% yield APY paid out daily or weekly. Let us run the raw mathematics. Because you have utilized geographic arbitrage, your cost of living in a hub like Thailand or part of South America might only be $30,000 a year. To generate $30,000 a year passively at a 10% stablecoin yield, you only need a principal capital base of $300,000. In a high-tax jurisdiction, saving $300,000 takes decades. But when you are earning a high-salary digital salary, paying 0% in taxes, and living in a low-cost hub, accumulating $300,000 can be executed in 3 to 4 years of aggressive saving. Once you hit that threshold, the yield completely covers your biological existence. You no longer need to work to survive. You have bypassed a 40-year grind because you become your own decentralized bank. Phase 5, the Apex Execution Protocol. Theory is useless without a timeline. We must transition from conceptual architecture into brutal step-by-step execution protocol required to achieve this before you turn 30. You must view the next 36 months of your life as a high-intensity deployment. You're not looking for work-life balance, you're looking for an escape velocity. Step 1. The digital skill acquisition. If your current job requires physical presence, if you are a retail manager, a physical therapist, or a traditional floor manager, you must immediately pivot. You must acquire a highly scalable, high-income digital skill. Software engineering, AI orchestration, smart contract auditing, or elite digital sales. You must secure an income stream that can be routed across borders through the blockchain or digital payment rails. Step 2. The residency severance. You must consult with a specialized international tax lawyer to legally exit your home country. This is not about just booking a flight. It is about filing the correct departure tax forms, closing localized physical ties, and establishing a new tax-neutral residency in a jurisdiction like UAE or a crypto-friendly Nomad hub. You cut the umbilical cord to extraction machine. Step 3, the accumulation phase. You move to a low-cost geographic hub. You live aggressively below your means. You do not buy designer clothes or luxury cars. You funnel 80% of your untaxed digital income directly into a stablecoin. You are a ghost, focused entirely on capital accumulation. Step 4. The yield deployment. You stake your stablecoin across multiple audited decentralized protocols to mitigate smart contract risk. You build a diversified yield architecture that generates your target APY. Step 5. Absolute autonomy. The moment your monthly stablecoin yield eclipses your low-cost monthly living expenses, you have achieved permanent financial autonomy. You are mathematically retired. You can choose to continue working on a project that fulfills you, or you can spend your days surfing, reading, and traveling. You are no longer bound by threat of starvation or coercion of a corporate boss. Financial autonomy is not a distant, unattainable dream reserved for elderly. It is a highly engineered mathematical algorithm that you can execute today. Look closely at the financial script you have been handed by the society. They tell you to be loyal to a geographic location that taxes you into oblivion. They tell you to save pennies in a flat system that inflates your purchasing power away. They tell you to wait until you are biologically exhausted before you are allowed to be free. The apex operator reject this script. They rewrite the physics of their existence. They decouple their income from their location. They secure tax-neutral residencies. They funnel their capital into decentralized stablecoin engines. And they buy back their time before their youth expires. You have a choice. You can stay on a treadmill, running faster every year just to stand still. Or you can execute the digital nomadic arbitrage, process the data, execute the strategy, and I'll see you at the